we have the greatest tier of all time in this next match. Nobushi versus the Seabiscuits in our amateur matchup of the night. Man, I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Oh, I want to give a big shout out here to Rob's grandma who texted him to let him know that I am a funny person. So that's 1 of 1. I'm going to take that win for sure as we get into this Ami action between Nobushi and Seabiscuits.
This is.
I'm all about it. It's nice when somebody says I'm funny.
Don't worry, I'll say it one day. Probably. Maybe.
Probably not.
But as we're looking at these stats, we do have Nobushi going 15-15 throughout the season. This Seabiscuits team going 17-11 through this season. What are you really looking at here, boss?
You know, I'm looking at the fact that this Nobushi team, for the second round of a playoffs team, is 15-15 from the regular season, which really shows that, hey, it doesn't matter if you're coming in towards the bottom of your, bracket. You can still, on any given day, take some games. And they obviously already have to be on one because they're going to be rolling out of a very high seed. Somebody who's they probably knocked off like the 1 or 2 seed for their side. So, I mean, this is a team that's going to be on one tonight, and we have to pay attention to Nobushi all the way through.
Meanwhile, obviously, we have the Seabiscuits also making it to round 2. Not entirely sure what kind of team they played, where they were at, but no matter what, we have 2 winning teams here. Either one of these teams can end up winning this game. They both made it through the first round of playoffs. They made it to the playoffs. This is just another step for both of them. So I'm not counting anyone out in this series, record or not. I'm just excited to watch their gameplay.
Well, and that's the fun thing, right? So, like, as we get these player stats pulled up here, it's wild that we're going to look at this and potentially say, oh, yeah, Nobushi doesn't look like they've got the greatest stats, and, Seabiscuits look like the top dog. No, all pun intended. But for a team to come out in the opening round and really say, hey, we're going to set this aside. We're going to take out a top tier team. They're going to be rolling with every bit of energy that you could potentially ask for. Yeah, for sure. I mean, 54 goals in their main score, 29 from StaRazor, their backup. I think actually didn't StaRazor play exceptionally well last season in twos, I thought?
I have no idea. I'll be honest, I have no idea.
Wrong. But I'm going to kind of say right now, I don't think this matchup is going to look the same as it does on paper.
I can see that. Yeah, for sure. I can definitely see that. I mean, we do have StaRazor, 29 goals, 19 assists, 68 shots. We have on fire. I can't read that. Boss, help.
On fire 12?
I guess on fire. A little weird to say.
Laban, but I'm not going to lie. We've had much harder names to pronounce tonight, from the team names to the player names. On fire kind of surprises me there that's your hiccup.
Well, listen, man, when you're trying to pronounce a hard name and then you get to a semi-easy name, it makes it look weird. You feel like you have to say things
let's
that you're
simplify
not used to
it.
saying.
We're going to call on fire just fire. We're going to make this real simple. Let's, though, get into this matchup. You see some Ami action between Nobushi and Seabiscuits.
Dude, I'm excited. I love watching this tier. I love watching amateur play so much. I casted one game earlier in the season for amateur, and man, it's the most fun to cast in my mind.
Oh, for sure. And especially towards the back half of the season, we talk about a tier that has so much growth potential. A tier that realistically, throughout the season, you're technically the bottom of the barrel for general ability. You can develop so quickly and then become a prospect player or somebody that's a little bit higher in the tiers and almost just jump in like an immaculate amount. So we'll potentially see some incredible things that traditionally you wouldn't expect out of an Ami team.
Yeah, you definitely will. I will say this is going to take a little bit of getting used to, the difference in the play from the first match to the second one, as we have Papa off getting the first goal of this series, putting them up 1-0 with 20 seconds in. I mean, that's just nice shot. Scrappy Doo seemed like he got in the way a little bit, just allowing that ball to go in the net.
For sure, and that is a great boom shot, you know, especially in this tier. Any shot you take, you want to be able to just put it on net. You don't know if your opponents are going to be able to save it. I mean, it's even if it's just like a light lob shot, or even, I'm not going to lie, even if it's a ground shot, there's a chance it might just go in. So put it on net, let it roll, and just take that chance. Exactly. Fire turns quickly, gets the 50 split, so Scrappy, oh, that could have been weird, gets the touch. Scrappy is going to push it all the way down into the corner here, and Fire's going to be the first. No! Papa, with the Control-Alt-Delete, gets rid of Fire on the goal line and says, I'm getting the first goal.
Second goal. It's 2-0.
Second goal. I'm on one.
I mean,
all right.
To be fair, Papa did get the first goal too, but getting the second goal of this game too, I mean, Papa is just here to be a menace this game. He's getting a nice shot from downfield and then getting the demo and then another goal. I mean, this is going to be interesting, seeing if that stays as a trend going into the season, if you know what I mean, boss.
For sure. And, you know, I wanted to hype up this Nobushi team because they had to have been coming in after beating such a good team that we would see it translate. But so far, this has been the Papa Hoff show. Scrappy decides to stop, take control, gets underneath the ball, can't quite put it left, so they're going to put it off backboard. StaRazor lifts it over one. The bump can't allow them to put it away, and this shot is wide left. Fire can't put it on target. Oh, my.
Oh, no, just like you were talking about earlier, all you have to do in this tier is make sure you get the ball on the net at least a little, but especially when the net is open. I understand it's the hardest shot in Rocket League to make, as we have Scrappy do hitting one himself. I mean, it's definitely the hardest shot in Rocket League to hit, though. I'm not going to lie. I've missed my fair share of open nets.
I know for a fact that was not an intentional fake, but it worked nonetheless. StaRazor had to commit to that, elevated off the ground, and the shot just never came. So with that going across, you know, Scrappy was able to clearly put away an open net. Something that, I'm not going to lie, I can't do it myself. The open net syndrome is bad over here.
Open net syndrome's bad everywhere, it seems.
StaRazor opts to cut in quickly, gets deleted by Scrappy Doo, so Papa's going to be able to take control here. Sends it deep across the pitch. Fire turns quickly, gets the touch past one. Scrappy centers it, but Fire opts to pass it center, and Scrappy follows it through. They are up 4-0, and we've got half a game left to play.
Not just 4-0, but we see 2 goals coming from both these players. They're both putting in work. They're both doing what they got to do. They're both scoring goals, and they're up 4-0, just like that.
I mean, that is rough, especially coming out in game 1. Oh, no. Oh, the extra touch goes past the teammate, Papa, and they can't put it away. If they didn't touch it there, that likely would have been goal number 5 in the first half of the game. Fire puts it back across to the wall. Papa's there to cut it out. StaRazor and this Nobushi team just seem to be struggling to get it off their half into a viable offensive opportunity. It's going to split 50 wide. Fire's turning, playing it patiently. That's going to be on net. Papa, though, elevates and swats that away. Are we watching an Annie player here?
Honestly, at this point, I'm not entirely sure, but you were talking about the potential of growth with this tier. It's absolutely insane. You see people starting off in plat, gold, and by the end of the season, you'll see people high diamond, mid-high diamond. Every now and then, you'll see a player low champ, as we see Fire with a great double tap, able to put a goal in for his team. On Fire is definitely on fire there as they get that dunk for the goal. Incredible way to follow that through and just stuff it through the goalie. Yeah, Papa. Sorry, go ahead. Papa and I don't know the other person do get a solid kickoff. It does go towards this to the Seabiscuits corner. On Fire, trying to stay on this ball, able to keep it, but Scrappy is able to get a touch away. Papa's gonna end up just trying to catch. Never mind, does end up jumping, hits it away into this Nobushi's corner. Fire gets another touch. Scrappy's gonna turn, get a touch past Fire.
And for those of you who are tuning in, this is game 1 of a best-of-5 series, round 2 in the AMI playoffs. As this is going to bounce off the backboard, StaRazor, that does not go to a favorable spot for Fire, and instead Scrappy is going to be able to counterattack quickly, getting it all the way across the pitch in a little bit of breakaway action.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely fantastic shot to get their clear up their hat trick.
It definitely is. Able to get it off to that sidewall, putting it around one, and then leaving the net wide open for Scrappy. Just able to put that into the back of their net, allowing, like you said, for their hat trick of the game. But not just that, but going up 5-1, basically finishing this game off. But here we go, 6-1 with their 4th goal. I mean, this is crazy. Scrappy Doo is absolutely popping off this game.
Laban, do you have a passport?
I do. I think I know where you're going with this.
That's really great because you should know where we're going. This has all the markings of a potential Brazil. This ball's going to bounce wide off right. Fire gets the touch to prevent the counterattack from Papa. So StaRazor's going to try to elevate. Does. Swats away Scrappy's touch. They may not be playing for a win here, but they're definitely playing for pride. You don't want to get Braziled in any kind of playoff action. The bump, Scrappy pops it up. StaRazor, though, swatting it away. Papa's high off the wall. 10 seconds left, Laban. We might see it right here.
Oh, Scrappy goes for the double tap to send him to Brazil as well, but unable to get it. Just hits it high and wide. But either way, Brazil or no Brazil, this is a phenomenal first game for the Seabiscuits team. When it's 6-1, definitely a pace maker for this team. Maybe trying to set the pace for the next game, and the third one, trying to get this sweep for the Seabiscuits team.
I just want to shout out something that they don't normally have. Scrappy Doo has pixelated shades as a topper. We actually don't get to see a lot of toppers in these matchups, and I really love to see it. A little bit of unique stylization going on here from a player who just dropped 817 points in the opening round. I mean, that is insane. You would expect 400 from your best player, maybe 500 at most, but Scrappy said, I need 4 goals on 6 shots.
Not just that, but like you're saying, 500 is a good point too. Scrappy with 800 points. Now we have Papa with 500 as well. Definitely doing their job too, getting the first 2 goals of the game, setting the pace for Scrappy to get 4 more. And by the way, can I just say, Topper gang for life. I'm a part of that.
100%. 100%. I actually, probably one of the most interesting stat lines we've got here out of game 1. Only 1 assist for the entirety of the game. Out of 7 goals, only 1 came from a pass from a teammate. So there's a lot of solo action going on, a lot of isolation gameplay, where the shooter just says, I don't need my teammate. Let's just take a shot at the goal. That goalie can't stop me. I'm getting a goal here.
I mean, you'll definitely see that a lot at the lower ranks. Definitely still developing the skills to put the ball where you want it to. Not able to exactly get the good passes like we saw in the Prem game that we just had earlier, but still developing those skills, still getting an assist every now and then. That's the word I'm trying to say. But the important thing is that these goals are still going to the back of the net, whether they're assisted or not, and developing a skill set to do that in the future is the most important thing.
Rough bit of a whiff there from Fire, so now they're going to be back in their own half. Scrappy quickly putting it off backboard. They're going to go for their own follow, puts it behind. The lack of patience from the goalie to sit back post, easily exploited by Scrappy, who slots it in the perfect spot. I mean, that is just great placement on a shot from any tier, especially from an AMI.
Yeah, I mean, I will say you do kind of want to see StaRazor definitely sit in that back post. See, they drifted past it just a little bit, possibly able to jump up to get the save, as we do see a really nice save from Fire on that backboard. But Scrappy was just able to take advantage of the little bit of a missed touch, or missed movement, I should say, and put it right behind for the first goal of this game. And their 5th goal in 2 games. That's absolutely crazy.
Ooh, that is going to be a little bit of a whoopsie-daisy. Scrappy Doo, while rotating back, did not have nearly enough time, and Papa Hoff, pushed up a little too far. So StaRazor was able to exploit that with a deep shot, and like I've said, Laban, so many times, you put it on net, there's a good chance you're getting a goal in this tier.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even disagree with that. I mean, that's just the best way to do it here. Obviously, there are still times where it's not going to work 100% of the time, but if you keep on doing it, it's bound to go in, especially at a tier like Ami. I mean, that's why it's so much fun to watch, getting able to see high-scoring games just by people throwing it on net. It's so much fun to watch.
I love that you say high-scoring games. Like, we didn't just watch a Prem series that was dropping like 8 goals on average.
That's a very good point. But hey,
I know what you mean, that traditionally the lack of defense translates so quickly in Ami or any of the other lower tiers for high scoring games. And Prem, you see a lot of saves, so you should see lower scoring games, but it's wild that this is such a low scoring affair compared to the Prem series we just casted.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you can say low scoring affair. They did just put up a 6-1 game, did put up 7 goals. However, we are only at 2 here, but it doesn't matter. Either way, goals are goals. I'm just happy to see a lot of them. Both series, honestly.
Ooh, good ground pinch decision by Fire. Even though it doesn't get it out of their third, it allows them to really take control. The fake, the 50, that's just in. We are now 2-1 in favor of Nobushi.
That is just an absolutely great play by Fire. Able to get that 50, go straight into that net. Definitely seeing why they're the goal scorer of this Nobushi team.
Great series coming out so far. I don't know if we're gonna get anything as close as we did last series, where went to that 5th game, and then Auntie said, "No, we're done with this. I've had enough fun. Let's just win and move on." But this definitely is shaping up to at least be a really solid matchup here in the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I absolutely love to see, which you don't see a lot from lower tiers, is the mentality. I mean, you see them go down 6-1 in the first game, but they came straight out the gate, not letting down, not giving up, coming back up, and they're leading 2-1 in this game with 2 minutes left, so they're able to keep this up. We may see another 5-game series on our hands.
Good cut by Scrappy. They're gonna get the shot, opts not to go behind. Instead, they're just going to take a bit of a boom shot, and with such speed and veracity, Fire just can't get there in time. Incredible play by Scrappy to really solo against this Nobushi team to equalize it 2-2. And with a minute 49, it's still anybody's game. Fire takes control. They get the pop. That's too high. Instead, StaRazor is going to be able to take a shot. No, it's backboard city again. Oh, no. One of them's got to put it on target. We can't just pass it off the backboard to Casper here.
I don't think they care. I think they thought that Casper was definitely just going to be able to clean up that goal for him, but I guess Casper wasn't around the field at the time. But either way, I love just seeing the pressure coming out of this team as we see Papa just keeping pressure of his own, taking what a amazing angle, just able to get this right on net, coming across the ball, getting the angle on net. That's just absolutely crazy to see.
And that's such a difficult save for anybody really on the goal line. They were in the back post location. They were ready for the shot, but that had such power. I think the only way you can realistically save that is if you just get into almost a 45-degree backflip and just send it straight into the air with all of the momentum that it already had and just hope it doesn't go in. And I mean, for any tier. I mean, you have a lot of saves in the threes league, so you definitely know what I'm talking about here. Like, that is a difficult save.
Yeah, I mean, it's so many of those, even when you're in the right spot, it's so difficult to end up saving. I mean, you can be in the right spot 100% of the time, but even then, you're going to get goals going in your back of net. I can't even complain about that positioning. Absolutely perfect, just perfect angle from Papa, as we do see a little bit of a team bomb, possible goal for this Nobushi team, but unable to capitalize.
Well, and that's going to be rough. You're not going to get a lot of looks this late in the game, especially with how aggressive this Seabiscuits team has been. They've got 9 shots already. So realistically, they're going to need to take this this opportunity, and hopefully we get a shot here. Nope, it's off backboard again. StaRazor needs to send this center. Firer is there to put it away. As I was saying, they need to capitalize. They said, we got you, fam, and equalize this now 3-3. We might see overtime.
We very well may. I mean, you see Scrappy unable to just get back when they needed to, kind of float in the air. I don't think they had any boost, but then Papa just had to go in and challenge, but able to get it past him, allowing them to score that game-tying goal with 5 seconds left. I mean, this is crazy. This is the second series where we've had a game tire sent into overtime and 3 seconds left. This is crazy. I love these games so much, man.
Oh, for sure. And especially when you're watching any sport, especially when you're watching something like Rocket League, you love to see these really close games where everything is on the line just because it matters so much more. This outward clear from StaRazor might be giving them the goal. Oh, what a clutch lift by Papa Hoff. Double jumps into the ball to get this lifted over the crossbar and gets them out of the really dangerous situation. And it's I'm not gonna lie here, Laban, this could be a backbreaker for either team. The longer this goes on, the more they're invested in this OT and the more the jitters set in. You know, if you lose this game, that could really mess with your morale going into the back half of the series.
Yeah, I must say though, this is a must-win for this Nobushi team. As I'm saying that though, they do win. I mean, that's absolutely fantastic to see if you're a Nobushi fan. I mean, minute overtime, you know, losing game 1, 6-1, able to come through and score with how much time was left when they scored to tie this game?
5 seconds. They had 5 seconds on the clock, and they said, we still have a chance. Let's get this goal.
And they do. I mean, that's an absolutely soul-crushing goal against the Seabiscuits team.
Oh
You know,
my.
coming in.
Sorry, look how close these team stats are. I mean, there's one stat difference. It's goals. There's only one goal favor for Nobushi. They're tied at 1 assist. They're tied at 4 saves. They're tied at 10 shots. This was as equal as you could get on the stat sheet outside of we needed a winner, obviously.
It really is. That's absolutely crazy to look at. I mean, we definitely see Fire having the game that they needed. You know, 3 goals, 3 assists, 5 shots. But we see StaRazor also getting the cycle, you know, 5 shots as well. But on the other end, we have Scrappy and Papa putting up stats of their own. It's absolutely crazy to see the way the stats lined up like this.
Oh, 100%. And you know now, going into game 3 with the series tied up, this could go the distance. We might get another best of 5 all the way through and through. Looks like we're going to get a kickoff from Scrappy Dew and Fire. Waiting for Papa Hoff to join in and maybe a car change. We got the Fennec. Were they playing with the Fennec last game, or were they still repping the Octane?
I really don't know. I've been so focused on the gameplay and I haven't even looked at the car designs.
Well, we're going to get a kickoff here, and we do. We're going to be seeing, looks like some favorable action for Nobushi, who's already getting a shot opportunity. It's going to be wide left, though. Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. I thought for a second their Firer was going to do the least Amy thing possible and get a ground pinch from the backside to slam that into the goal. A little bit of a miss, though, has this game still tied at 0-0, and Fire takes control. They get the goal. Laban, fantastic play here from that Nobushi team.
Yeah, not just fantastic goal, but what a play by On Fire, you know, reading that and able to get the dunk that they needed and then able to follow it up and put it on net. I mean, this is what you really wanted to see from this Nobushi team after a game like the last one, able to keep up the pressure, leading into game number 3, trying to take this series into their own hands. As we do have Papa Hoff able to take a shot on net, tying this game back up. I mean, after seeing an absolutely heartbreaking loss from the Seabiscuits in game number 2 after such a great game in game number 1, able to see them come in, do what they need to do to stay in the right headspace going in this game number 3 to tie it back up 1-1, only 45 seconds in, but we have Papa Hoff possibly able to score another one, but Fire is able to get back in time. Meanwhile, we do have Scrappy trying to get it across net, unable to. Fire is just on top of this defense, but Scrappy is on top of the ball still. This is absolutely crazy to see. Now we have Papa Hoff still on top of that ball, able to get pushed away by StaRazor. Scrappy gets a touch in the corner, keeping it there. Goes for the back button touch, does get it, but StaRazor does keep possession. Papa with a big bump on Star. Meanwhile, Scrappy gets it clear over to the right side. Tries to follow, pops it up for his teammate. Gets it to Papa. Papa definitely gets up Papa himself. And now we're going to have Scrappy going up the sidewall, trying to get a touch, but unable to in that Dominus hitbox. Little bit of a double commit. Can StaRazor do something? Unable to.
No, but StaRazor is going to center it here, though. Oh, no, that's going back to the sidewall. Fire's going to put this back into the corner. Fire elevates. That could very well be in. It goes the distance. It bounces, and we are up now in favor of Seabiscuits. And Laban, thank you. I was having some solid technical issues there for a few seconds.
You're good. I just shoutcasted for about a minute straight, not a whole lot, but just say what's going on the field. But I mean, either way, happy to see you back. Happy to see you back.
Oh, you could have solo carried. You would have been fine.
Nah, I don't know if I could have. My voice would have given out by then.
Oh, we got a shot, though. Oh, man. I don't think Papa Hoff really expected to see StaRazor coming in from the blind spot. They waited for the touch and got caught into a really bad pickle. Beautiful placement by StaRazor to equalize this game.
Yeah, it certainly was. Can I just say something real fast? That entire minute you were gone, no goals are scored. As soon as you get back, 2 goals are scored in about 15 seconds. That's absolutely crazy, man. I guess you just need to stay here.
It's just the luck. It is what it is.
No way.
Scrappy Doo takes it up the wall. They've got control. They're not going to be able to get a second touch here as it just gets a little bit away from them. Papa Hoff puts it into the corner. They're going to be able to recover and get a second touch. They do. It's high center, but Fire immediately, tracked where the ball was going, realized they needed to make a contact there and just cleared away, and they do. So Seabiscuits are not going to go up 3-2. Instead, now they're all the way back on their third. On Fire, turns around, waiting patiently for the bounce, gets the first touch, gets the pop-up, elevates, no. Papa Hoff swats it away, and Laban, with 2 minutes left, we're tied.
I know, that's what I was mainly talking about while you were gone. I mean, 2 minutes left, still tied. My biggest thing is this Seabiscuits team. They scored 6 goals in the first one. Then Luke, as I'm speaking, we do see On Fire able to get this game-leading goal here with a minute 49 left. Putting them up 3-2.
You will never get a chance to finish a whole thought. You were going.
I never will.
As soon as you start talking, we're gonna see Score City.
Okay, I'm gonna try and get this in as fast as possible. Game 2, we see that team come in. We see the Nobushi team. I was a little scared, they're not gonna lie. We see Nobushi come in and win Game 2 after losing 6-1. But then that's a heartbreaking loss for Seabiscuits. They had all the momentum going into that game, and then that switched. But here we go with Nobushi and Seabiscuits. Both of them seem like they have the same amount of momentum, other than the fact that Nobushi is up by 1 goal right now. It's absolutely crazy to see.
Well, and I mentioned it for the Prem series, but it's the same for every tier. When you're a championship contender, it doesn't matter how bad you lose. You need to be able to hit the drawing board, talk to your teammates, and go, "Hey, we lost that game 1. We got to recover because it's not over. There's still potentially 4 games to be played." And they did, even though they lost 6-1, almost gave up a Brazil. They've come out. They've taken game 2. They're up now 1 goal going into the final minute of game 3. And at the rate they're going, if Fire can put this on net, that's a goal. Ooh. That would have been it. Well, unfortunately, that was wide left. The shot wouldn't have even gone, even if Scrappy touched it. I don't think that would have bounced favorably for StaRazor, though. So that's a rough placement and a rough opportunity that you really need to capitalize on.
Yeah, it is, especially since that could have been the game ender. Meanwhile, we do have Scrappy Doo able to get a goal there, tying this game back up. But what a great pass from Papa. And then Scrappy Doo able to finish that. I mean, this Nobushi team had the chance to put this game away, going up 4-2 with 40 seconds left. Instead, we do see Seabiscuits coming back. You know, they took advantage of it and just scored the equalizing goal right there.
Well, and that is rough. You were right. That could have been the backbreaker. That could have been the dagger that gives them the game and potentially sends them into, a really good standing going into game 4. But with that wide left shot, now we have a chance from Scrappy Doo to put it on. It's wide right. Oh, sorry, it was wide high. I should have got it wrong there, but oh my. Papa Hoff putting it away with 1 second left. We're going to see a 2-1 series now for Seabiscuits.
You don't know that yet. Second left is a lot of time. Not a lot of time, but enough time.
That is not a lot of time. Neither of these teams have really indicated that they've got incredible air control. So,
okay,
yeah,
now
there
the game
it
is over.
1 second goals in Amy. I'm sorry. That's just not likely.
You never know, though. You never know.
Oh, no, I'm a betting man. That's a 95% chance.
But there's still a 5% chance it happens, boss. A 5% chance. I wanted to believe.
Hey, if you've got pocket kings, you don't fold because you know there's a 5% chance somebody's got pocket aces.
I don't like the fact that you're right.
What a great game, though. We had 8 shots from Nobushi, 12 from Seabiscuits. Both teams saying, I just want to pepper the opponent's goal. We'll see what goes through. And quite frankly, it worked for Seabiscuits. When you take 12 shots, even though you only got 4 goals, it's still 33%, and you're still taking the game. I mean, you got to just keep up that pressure.
Yeah, but I still can't get it out of my head. I'm not sure if this Nobushi team can get out of their head what happened with that minute left in that game, 40 seconds left in that game. Sorry. They had the chance to go up 4-2, and they just hit it a little too wide. Instead, the Seabiscuits team able to take advantage, able to score the 2 goals they needed to take the lead and eventually the game. I personally, if I'm part of this Nobushi team, I don't know how I get that out of my head, but they need to if they want to stay in these playoffs.
I think as we roll in here to game 4, if any team can do it, it's definitely the team that got 6-1 in the opening game and then responded with a dub of their own. Already, Fire putting it towards the net, quickly asserting themselves. Ooh, rough bounce in favor of Papa Hoff. Fire can't get the touch. Oh no, Scrappy. If they could have put it a little lower, they would have opened this game up with a goal in the first 30 seconds. Instead, we're still looking at the ball trapped on the back goal line for this Nobushi team. And they can play this a little bit more patient. Wait for this touch. They do. They're going to split the 50. Instead, StaRazor is going to send it all the way deep. And I can't believe that demo. I did not think they were going supersonic.
I didn't either, but according to Rocket League, they were, so I'm not gonna say they weren't, but I didn't think they were whatsoever, as we have such a great shot, but such a great save from Papa Hoff, keeping this game tied 0-0.
They might be a little antsy. The double commit in 2s is a really risky play. Like in 3s, you can rely on your third, and you might be able to get away with it, but in 2s, a double commit could be a death sentence. And maybe they're just a little antsy. Maybe they're just trying to be extra aggressive since they lost the last game, like we were talking about, with the goal going in with only 1 second left. But whatever it is, they definitely want to avoid that going forward.
Definitely want to avoid it, and they do. After all of that situation that just went down, avoiding a double commit, avoiding getting scored on from a double commit, on Fire, able to just put that ball straight into the back of net with a bunch of power as well, putting them up 1-0 with 3 minutes 30 seconds left.
I just realized our Nightbot is still using the podcast link from the last podcast.
You were saying, because StaRazor just interrupted you big time with a goal.
Oh yeah, 100%. What's new, Laban? What's new? It's just the story as old as time.
It really is. Through what game are we on? We're on game 4 of the series. Through 9 games, it has not stopped.
This is game 4, but I mean, with the way this series has gone, positioning yourself being up 2-0 is a really good place to be. Even with over half the game remaining, that seems to be a deficit that both teams struggle with completely overcoming. Fire bumps Scrappy into the ball. Papa's going to be able to get to the ball first. StaRazor waits, opts not to touch it. Probably should have, as Papa Hoff puts it wide into the right-hand side of the goal. A little bit too far away from StaRazor to throw it in reverse and get the block.
Yeah, I mean, what a great shot, can I just say. Able to get it around the defender, able to get that on net still. That's such a tight angle in between that defender and that post. But, you know, Papa Hoff able to just come out here, put that on net. You were talking about how big of a deficit that is, but just like that, that deficit's down to 1. So this game is still very much in reach for the Seabiscuits team.
For sure, for sure. And Papa Hoff, if they can pull off this series win here, I think has asserted themselves as MVP candidate status. I mean, they have played tremendously well all series, peppering the goal, getting goals all in all. I think they're leading their team with 1 assist. So, you know, solid Rocket League all around.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, still, solid Rocket League from both teams, as we see On Fire trying to take a shot, but just way too wide. Way too wide. And Scrappy Doo is able to take possession, stays with that ball, but On Fire really not letting them do much, you know, trying to just keep that ball away from the attackers as much as possible.
Laban, can we talk about what happened? I don't want to glance over the fact that I looked and I saw both players from Seabiscuits leaving the ball and going for boost, and I'm like, okay, wide open. Fire can just take the shot, easy peasy, and then it wide rights, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I can recover from seeing that.
Listen, the open net strikes again. It's the greatest defender in Rocket League.
It's not the open net. It's the disrespect by the Seabiscuits to not play defense, and then it paid off.
Hey, listen, they just wanted they saw the big yellow thing, and they took it. I don't blame them. I do that way too much as it is. Now we do have...
myself.
What?
I'm just beside myself. I'm still recovering.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy to think about, as we do have Papa Hoff putting the shot on net of their own, but it is able to be turned away by On Fire, and they're still on that ball, not letting this Seabiscuits team do much with it, as they're just keeping it away from them. But we do see Scrappy going up, does beat one, unable to put it on net though.
And thankfully, you know, we don't see the error that was made earlier. We see Fire immediately lunge and dive at the ball and decide, hey, you know, it didn't pay off before when we waited. I just need to make contact and avoid the shot. And it worked. And instead, though, they're going to just see Papa Hoff do Papa Hoff things and Papa Hoff all over the field as they get this second goal. Right here, incredible placement to put it wide left. Fire having to elevate and dodge the demo. Great play by the Seabiscuits team to potentially set themselves up to put this series away with only 4 games.
Yeah, I mean, this is the second game in a row that we've seen them score the game tire with such little time left on the net. I mean, on the net, on the field.
There's a chance. Oh,
but
no, instead StaRazor. No, sorry, go ahead. Go.
But now this Nobushi team has a chance, but it is going to end up falling, putting us into overtime.
Overtime is right. StaRazor and Papa Hoff are going to split the kickoff. Scrappy Doo tries to elevate, uses a lot of boost to get there, so they're going to be in an awkward spot for a follow. Goes for the bump on StaRazor. It's not a viable play as Papa Hoff can't get it put on target. Fire recovers, gets the 50. This is going high center. No, it's cut out back to the left side. StaRazor's going to boost dump to get there. Beats the ball. Tries to pinch it off the wall, but it's going to be stopped by Scrappy. Fire takes control again. Ooh, and that pop might be the death sentence. That's going center. If Fire can get there, that's a goal. Oh, they just can't get to the ball. And instead, it's all the way back for shot opportunities against the Nobushi net.
Yeah, just a little too late to that ball, you know. cutting across net, you got to be there at the right time, as we do have this Seabiscuits chance to score, but it is going to be shut out by On Fire. Can we just talk about the way that this On Fire player is able to cut in front of the ball constantly when their teammate needs it, but they aren't going to be able to do it this time, and we have Papa Hoff yet again, time after time, putting the ball in the back of the net in order to win this game number 4 and the series itself.
That was overtime game series clinching goal. I mean, that, they won 6-1 in game 1. They lost game 2. They won game 3 in OT they won game 3 with 1 second left on the clock, but that game clinching goal by who else but Papa Hoff. And now to walk into game 4, they were down by 2, an odds that I thought was almost insurmountable. And they said, hey, we're going to rattle off 3 straight goals, get Papa Hoff the hat trick. They just said, we're moving on.
Yeah, I mean, that was such a great series from both teams. Even though it ended in 4 instead of 5, overall, both teams constantly in it except for that first game. But yet again, just like the first series that we watched today, I mean, close games after close games just finally does end in game number 4 with who other than none else, Papa Hoff. In my opinion, my MVP for this entire series.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we are definitely in agreement here. Papa Hoff has been fantastic from game 1 to game 4. Even in their loss, Papa Hoff was doing everything they could. And this is definitely going to be a team that you have to look for as a potential, like a legitimate title contender. So for sure, I would say look for Papa Hoff to potentially make a name for themselves and establish a championship season here.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else you can really say on that series. GG's to Nobushi. They still played great. Just Seabiscuits were able to get the better of them.
For sure, for sure. And, we talked about if you want to get in on the action, please do jump into the discord.gg/RSC server. That's going to be for 3s. There is a link in that server for 2s. You can get signed up. Actually, no, signups aren't quite open. I need to watch myself there. We are wrapping up playoffs. After that, once we enter the offseason, signup should be shortly after. You can catch yourself and your team on stream like you do see here tonight, as long as you're popping off and getting some wins like Papa Hoff.
Exactly. And with that, all I can say is GG's to the players and the teams that played out here tonight. Watched some great games, watched 2 great series, and I don't have much else to say. How about yourself, boss?
No, Laban, the only thing I've got for you is, for sure, it's been a great night of casting with you. And with Vigilant Production, I can never complain. It's been great all around, and I just love to get in some solid 2s action.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree. This has been an absolute blast. But with that, I do think that we are going to say goodnight for the night. Thank you, everyone, for showing up and watching this playoff series. I mean, it's the start of 2's playoffs. We're just getting into it. This is just the start.
For sure. For sure.
And with that, good night, everybody. Have a great night. I'm still waiting for Vigil to put up the thanks for joining us screen. I don't know what is going to happen. Either way.
Probably after he scores in this 1v1 we're currently playing.
That's why I've been wondering what's going on.